Welcome in the door.
Hello, welcome. We have just a small group today, it seems, which is very fine. So as we're settling in and landing and waiting for the last stragglers to arrive, let's start by just taking 3 deep breaths together. Deep breath into your heart. Deep breath into your belly. Deep breath all the way down into your root. Beautiful, welcome. So this is our halftime report, our midway check-in. We are 3 weeks into our 6-week long training. So it feels like a good time to come up and take a breath of air from underneath the surface, and for us to harvest what's already been happening and to integrate some of the experience that have already taken place, and to find out if there is a way that we can serve you even better going forward for the final 3 weeks of the training. This is a kind of like a beta test, this program right now. We've never done this before. You're the first pioneers of this work being shared online. And so, as with any beta test, like, we need to listen and understand how we're impacting and what's really working and what's really not working. And also just find out where there's still places where we can meet you, where there's stuff that's come up that we haven't yet spoken to. So we're going to take a little time to do that today. Deep breath.
And in a way, you will get to be the spokesperson for the whole community. And by having a check-in in a smaller group, you will attune a little bit to what are the highlights in your journey, as in what has been working, what are you happy about, and so on. What are you learning, and what are the lowlights? What have been the challenges? What hasn't been really working for you, and then what are you taking away so far? So we will put you in groups of 3 where you get to check in with yourself, so that you almost become a channel later for the whole community, as we then begin to harvest a little bit of what you are experiencing and so on. Deep breath.
Yes, so as Booster said, I apologize. There was a woman who asked in one of the comments if we would do any breakout rooms in this session, and I said no, I didn't think so. But we are actually going to do a breakout room, and we're going to start with a breakout room as a way for you to share and kind of get some of the juices flowing about your experience in your own reflection. So I'll re-say what Booster said, and as I'm re-saying what Booster said, somebody from our tech support team will copy and paste directions, because you're going to go into a breakout room in a second with 3 people. So there'll be 3 of you, and you'll each share 3 times for 1 minute each time. So for the first minute, you'll each share what's been your highlight of this training, what's really working, like what is the ecstatic, surprising, beautiful experience that you've had. Then you'll each share for 1 minute what's been the low light or something really difficult about this training so far. Take some breaths And then the third share will be, what are you taking away with you already? Like, what's your harvest? What are you learning about yourself? And then after you've each shared for 1 minute about each of those topics, then you'll come back into the main room and we'll collect this information and move forward with the rest of the midway check-in. Is that clear for everyone? Can you give me a thumbs up or like a midway or like a down? Awesome. So we could try to piece feed you these instructions, but instead I would just we're putting them in the chat. You can copy and paste. Vaishnavi has just put into this big group chat what the prompts are and the instructions. So I think it might be better instead if we just send you on your way. You'll have 15 minutes with this group in the breakout room. And then you can either come back whenever you're done, or we'll call you back in after 15 minutes to collect this, and we'll move on to the next piece of the harvest.
And I'm in favor of people with big frontal teeth. So when you get to the meeting, you show them your frontal teeth, and the one who has the biggest frontal teeth, you're the one who gets the first minute. And then we love deep breaths as well. So I also invite you to, after you time yourself, or you being timed, after that minute, you take a deep breath and you pass it along to the next speaker, whoever that is. So you just kind of, yeah. But I like rabbit.
I know, Sue, I don't like it either. I'm always like, can you come up with a new thing, Booster? I like the teeth.
I'm sensitive today. I feel really rejected and critiqued right now. I can feel my relational trauma is being up, and I'm collapsing a little bit. And I want to say something nasty back. Fight is kicking in.
We have to go to dynamic again.
See what I have to stand? Enough of my own commentary. I have another commentator on the outside. I love you.
Okay, V, how's it going? Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to break you into breakout rooms now. Highlight, low light, what are you learning about yourself? And then come back. See you soon.
Enjoy.
Oops. And then, V, we just want to do the pause on the recording and the live, I think. So I'll share a little bit of what the context and the container for the rest of this call, the second half, looks like, which is right now we're going to go into kind of harvesting and asking questions around the homework. So we haven't really spent, the homework has been something that's been kind of happening in the background, but we haven't been giving a lot of space. So we just like to hear some feedback from you. If you just have questions, you can write them in the chat box. But if you have more of a share of the impact, of something a little bit more thorough that you'd like to share about the homework, which could also just be like, I'm just not doing that. And either I'm not doing that and that's totally fine with me, or I'm not doing that and I want to, or here's what I would need for that. So we just are going to take about 10 or so minutes and put some time on the homework and how that's been going. Then we'll open up for some Q&A, any questions that you have about the training in general. And then we'll open up for a final little segment of harvests, celebrations, and appreciations. And that will complete our call together today. Anytime a question is coming up for you, you can just always write that in the chat box and we'll answer it as we can. And the other thing I just want to say is that, there's people who can't be on this call, so we said that we would record it for them. And if you share a harvest or you ask a question and you're on the film, you'll be recorded, but we can either pause the recording or we can go back and edit it so that you're cut out. So I just want you to know that, and then you can communicate to us in whatever way works, that you're either open or not open to being in the video. The only people that will see it are the other people in the training who watch it back. It won't ever be anything that's shown publicly. It's just for the purposes of the people who missed the call who also want to hear the questions and the harvests. Deep breath. So for the next 10 minutes or so, we'll focus our attention on the homework. So anything that's alive that wants to be shared can either write a question or share in the thing. Sue is presencing herself. Sue, I would love to hear what you have to share about the homework.
Okay, you can hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you great.
Okay, so the homework has been quite a trigger for me because of the title homework. And and I kind of pick it up and then find I just want to go out into nature, and you know it kind of does that stuff. But I think that the thing would be that I've now got into a sort of spiral of oh, I haven't done the homework. I want to do the homework. I really, really want to do the homework. And what I think would be really useful is if there were maybe people that would partner to do the homework. Sometimes when I pick up the homework, there's a freeze that goes on. And so it feels to me like if there was other people that had that going on, that somehow we could be connected and maybe work through some of that space together. And probably the fault there is that I haven't reached out and said that that would be a nice thing to do. So, but when I have engaged in it, it's been profoundly useful. So there's kind of like quite a battle for me with the kind of paperwork side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Great.
Deep breath. Okay. Anyone else? Ben. Great.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I also haven't done very much of the homework, which I find quite sad because when looking into them, they seem to be really, really useful. But it also feels like it's the part that I can skip most easily because I just do that on my own and I don't have to connect with other people to do that. To some extent, it feels okay to not do the tasks now because I think I can still do them like after the course and they will still be a good resource at a later point. So that helps me. But some part of me would also like to do that, to do them, yeah, right when you give them to us, because it seems to be like kind of, yeah, of part of the process. So it would seem to be useful to do them right away. And for that, I think it would help me very much to have like a reflection group space where I can meet with other people, say in the evening, which would just be like a Zoom session where people can come in to talk about the homework if people choose to do that. And I guess some people would be there every day, and that would help me to like actually do the work, and would be kind of an incentive.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks, Ben. Deep breath. Okay. Let's see.
Natalie?
Or,
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, the homework, I know from other courses, like online courses, and that it's a really great tool, and I see the potential in the homework so much. And I think because I don't have, like, I see them as a great resource, and I could do much more self-teaching if I would do them. They're very, very powerful, but I was so overwhelmed with the rest of it that I fell back. I tried to be good and like, okay, I print out the PDF, I have them ready. The ones which were easy to read, like less text, I could get into easier. And some are so complex that I really feel like I need also co-regulating. And I think it would be super great to have an everyday work homework group, because I think it's very, very resourceful, especially if you can't book a session with you guys, or can't be in one of the deeper dive groups. I think it's super, super resourceful, and I wish I could have done more. And I wonder how now I could organize myself to do more self-teaching, because at the end I learn also that I'm my best teacher.
Super.
And I'm much more focused if I can dive into it. But obviously we are triggered while we're working with triggers. So it's sometimes tough to look through the text. Thank you.
Great point.
Great.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie. Deep breath. Okay, I think Anya is next. Anya from Germany.
So what I actually enjoy the homework a lot, and I'm doing it every day. And I love the videos that comes with the worksheets. Sometimes I'm already peeking into the videos in the evening before the next day, and I also download the PDF just to see what will be the topic of this reflection time. And what I really enjoy is that I can just reflect on myself in my own speed and just with myself. So this is a thing I really, really enjoy, because I can find my time, my space during the day, and it really helps me to just focus a bit more and not rush through the things, or trying to focus on the other people around, because it's just me. So for me, it's really, really helpful. And there's only one small thing. I always get confused when the task is to look at something during a week or over some more days, because then I think, okay, no, I have to take this worksheet. It's okay, I come to this point, but now I have to put it back and then try to see what's going on within a couple of days. But then it's hard to remember because there's already the next one. Yeah. These are a bit hard to remember then to get back. I'm still doing it and it's still working, but I think the more days that are coming, if there is such a worksheet, then I might not be able to refocus on this one again.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Deep breath. Okay, Dennis and Josephine.
Hey, I think most have been said now. I love the worksheets. There's been a lot of process in the worksheets that I actually get done. Much more than expected, actually, just sitting down and filling out a simple worksheet. So I love them. And the same as the others have said, it's hard to find the time. I love the small videos. It's a good length, 5-10 minutes. I see them every day, but not always I get the worksheets done.
But we talked about that, as said, that it's actually to have some kind of a small community or whoever feels the need to share what happened in their worksheet today, like that would be a really nice possibility to and we also talked about the contrast that there's so many things that we can jump into, and is it too much? But we also know that you can pick and choose, and yeah, so.
Yeah. So when I said less is more, I don't want to remove the worksheets, but maybe one every second day or something, because I find them really useful as a complement to what the other work we're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
You guys.
You're welcome.
Okay, Harmony would like to share.
So we're coming up towards the 10-minute. So I just want the people who would like to share, but filter it through in terms of what has already been said. So right now we are about to add things that haven't been named yet, because we're really collecting some essentials here, but let's just not repeat what's already been named.
Great.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I've loved the homework, and I found it only takes about 10 minutes. And I also have some of the problems that people have. I have to plug in a printer in a different room every day. So there's some things about having it compact in one go would be good. I love the videos. I love the idea of a group share each day would be helpful, because when I meet with my buddy, we decide how we're going to use the time. Do you want to freestyle? Do we want to share on the sheets? Do we want to talk about this? And there's so much. It's a lot to try and do in the time. I use the Facebook page to kind of do some of my reflections, so that helps with that. Trying to filter it through what you were asking, Buster. So, but I found it invaluable. I wouldn't have not wanted to have the sheets personally. I've wanted them and enjoyed that, found them of value. And just this piece for me that I'll just add in and then complete, that I'm doing quite a big course that is online learning. So I am learning the skills to do online learning. And I think most of us who come through school systems don't have that. So it's a different learning mechanism to learn how to do online learning. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of challenge. So, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Harmony. Deep breath. Okay, Mark. Unmute yourself.
There we go. Yeah. So my struggles with, I think the sheets are great questions, enjoyed that. I had a struggle because I just had some catch up to do, which is then not caught up with. I'm not sure how to manage that. It's just a question there. My own personal struggle is I sit down to really focus on them. I for some reason, I'm not finding it easy to access the answers. So I'm needing something else in there, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's more determination, more space, prioritizing. So a tool that helps that in my day, they end up bottom of the pile. Like others have shared, I'll put that off, focuses on the calls, focuses on other things. So I don't have a specific request, but those are the sort of issues that come up for me. And I know there's more I could have got out of them and can do in the future. So it'd be valuable. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Johnny.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. For me, it's actually the main thing I am doing, because I can't make Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings. So my main engagement with this course is watching the videos and doing the homework every day, which for me is already very valuable. I do sometimes feel as if the videos act as if some things have already been explained and said, and then I feel like I've missed it because probably it happened in one of the live calls. And I do always try to watch, or I have so until now watched the Tuesday evening ones, because I feel that's where there's some lecture and some information. But that would be the main thing I've noticed. If there is a difficulty, it's that sometimes it feels like I'm missing information or actual explanation in the videos about the homework sheet, because the videos kind of talk around it, not so much helping me actually what to do. And I posted a question in the Facebook group once, but I think it didn't get seen in the whole thing. So I also I'm starting to feel that I want to book a private session to address the things that are coming up for me. That's how I feel I'm relating to this. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Janine. It's really good.
Jenny. Deep breath. So we're going to round off the homework right now. We had 2 more people who expressed that they wanted to share, and I just wonder if it's still alive for Jocelyn or Katie to share. Do you have something new to add about the homework? I see 1 no and 1 typing. A harvest from the homework? Jocelyn? No, something else. Okay, great. So let's take a deep breath. Thank you for all of those shares about the homework. That's really helpful for us to know, and we'll take that with us into the second half of planning this course for you. So now what we want to open up for is questions and answers in general. If it's just a question and you're really clear on it, you can just type it in the chat. Or if it takes a little bit more explaining, you can say, I would like to ask a question in the chat, and we'll kind of collect a few of those for the next 10 minutes. We will do just a general questions and answers, not just about the homework. Anyone has any general questions? And then after, there'll be the final 10 minutes, will be for appreciations and harvests and celebrations. So 10 minutes now of Q&A, and then 10 minutes of celebration and harvests. Okay, Dennis and Josephine are first.
Hi again.
Hello.
Yes.
I was wondering, I read the book Complex PTSD by Pete Walker, and I was wondering if you've worked with his work as well, because there's a lot of similarity in the way he works with developmental trauma. But I can see the answer is no.
Well, no, I haven't read that book, but this stems from pretty much the same source. So, yeah, it's based in a similar body, as you can tell. It's just different flavors within this field of somatic psychotherapy, work with trauma, working with parts, working with the neurobiology in mind, regulation, developmental movements, active defenses, sequence. Yeah.
I've found some really useful infographics that a person created. I'll send them to you. I think that could be a good supplement.
Great.
So,
Love that. Thank
you.
you, Dennis. Infographics. Yeah.
More homework.
More dolls.
Yeah.
Infographics.
Okay.
Soft infographics.
And there's a question from Justin about the songs that Booster has played during the Shakes part of the playlist. Yes, you can access the Booster Rodvik Spotify for a whole bunch.
Yeah, I can place those particular ones for the shaking. We actually have a Shake Body Love playlist. It's already shared in the first Shake, I think, but I can reshare it.
We can share it again. And there's a few other playlists for good things if you just look usually at the title.
Yeah.
Like Embodied Slow, Embodied with a B, Embodied into EIT is a good for dance music. So you can kind of scroll through and get any ideas for new music that you'd like.
Yeah.
So a question about arousal states from Johnny. Yeah, Great. Let's go there.
Okay, so because there was once on the weekend, you asked us to track the states throughout the day, like where you're at, and I just noticed, maybe it's very ABC, but I'm a bit confused because I noticed my energy levels, but I'm not sure if that is exactly the same as like I notice when there's a clear trigger and I'm reacting in a certain way, and there's the physical responses, but then there's also just like I'm tired now because it's 10 o'clock at night and I want to go to bed, or I'm tired because I just ate a lot, or I have pain in my body because of this. Like, what are we, like, what is part of this, of the nervous system actually? I guess that's my question. Everything?
Yeah, so I think that particular assignment is a way to take the temperature on a day-to-day basis, on just kind of looking at where is your energy level taking you. Are you more into action mode, doing, curiosity, exploring, creating, or are you more into like being nurtured by food, digesting, resting, doing self-care? This is all happening within the window of tolerance. So it's just attuning to what's going on. For me, why that's good, because I usually have an agenda and I push my agenda over my body. And then my window is closing. And then a comment or a facial expression or something happens and I have a reaction very quickly, because I wasn't in touch with my nervous system. I wasn't really regulating, just, am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Do I need a break? Do I need to have a hug? Do I need to have a sharing with somebody? Do I need to clear something? So actually being in touch with the nervous system requires all of us to slow down and track, how am I breathing? What's the general tone of my muscles right now? Am I relaxing in my pelvic floor? Am I holding it? Is my body ready to act as if I needed to be somewhere really quickly, but I have a whole day, but for some reason my whole body is like, so we want to be able to just put a finger on the pulse of this animal that is perceiving worlds that we may or may not be aware of. So if anything, is to just connect, to kind of look inside the simple, as I said, breath, heart rate, muscular tone, so that you can track where, like, do I need to be at this tense? Or can I take another breath? So I might not specifically be answering you the questions in terms of, is your energy level the same as arousal? But I'm hoping that I'm giving you a little bit more of a way to use this map to study our inner geography, and to kind of combine mind and body, versus being driven into a future and then disconnecting from the animal or the body. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah. It's definitely something. The web, I'm feeling this, the interconnectedness of everything. That's what it's making me curious about that. Noticing that more, all the little parts.
Yeah.
Thank you. Deep breath. So there, anyone else just writing questions that you have? I'll take this moment to answer a few. First, I just want to say that Pierre, I love your idea. I think that idea has come in before. So what we'll do is, in the Facebook group, we will create a requests thread where anyone who wants to self-organize and have either new small groups or homework groups can find each other and self-organize. So we'll definitely get that posted. That's a great idea. And the other question that came in from Natalie is around our availability for personal check-ins or for additional small groups. And I just want to share, this is a little bit like an edge, I think, for Booster and I right now, where we're giving a lot for this training, like like a lot, I think more than we realize. And so we have to have our own boundaries around like what we're available for and when we need space and when we need to take care of ourselves. So I think we're navigating that. And of course, if like something's up for you and you need support and you feel really called to work with us, I encourage you to reach out. And like we'll just have to like keep navigating where our boundaries are in that, around how much we're providing as content and structure and resource in the training, and how much we also have to do other things.
And I just want to add to that, I still have a few more slots. If you are looking for session work, just reach out and we will find the time. And also, if you're interested in the deep dive groups, I'm beginning to collect people who are interested to join groups of 6 to do like a 6-week series. So if that's something that you want to do, it's a really affordable way to do some really deep work. Just let us know, and as soon as we have like another group of 6, then we just look into like when can that happen, and then we just jump in. So yes, knock on our doors and we will be happy to serve you when there's time and space.
Super. I think we're right about at 10 minutes of Q&A. Is there any last minute questions before we move on to celebrations and appreciations and harvest? Pierre, you want to go for something?
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's even a transition from the Q&A to the harvesting, because I heard you say, Booster, in the beginning that it feels like one thing after another and they're all like tasks now. And I remember Vaishnavi writing that sometimes things just fall off the list. And I'm just wondering, I don't know if this is a question to answer right now, but if there's anything from the things that you both and the 3 of you think you have to do that actually could like people from the community do as well. And like there's some lifting up of task and responsibility, because sometimes I have ideas how to maybe do things in the Facebook group, and then I'm sure maybe it's not my to do because you have other ideas you want to do anyway. And so there's this like, I feel there are like opportunities that are not yet really, the potential hasn't been lifted yet.
Amazing, Pierre. I mean, I would love for you to reach out to the team and share your brilliance. We are obviously crowdsourcing here. So, you know, maybe we have time to implement your insights and suggestions here, and or maybe it will become part of the next version of this. But I just welcome you and anyone else who is out there in the trenches actually receiving this material and doing the work. This is partially what we do here and now. We need your feedback, your harsh feedback, your positive affirmations, like what works, what doesn't work, what could be improved. So, and if you see potential that we don't, please like help us. We have huge blind spots. We're complete beginners here. So maybe not complete or huge, but small blind spots.
Hey, like believe in us a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit exaggerating. Yet, like what I'm speaking in, it's just we all have beginners' minds, so that we're stepping into the unknown together. And then when something is known through you, it's important that you speak out, because you are part of me and I'm part of you. So your voice is equally as important as my voice in terms of looking at the whole picture. So yes, I welcome you, Pierre, and anyone else who, oh, this could be tweaked in this way, and maybe it could even work better.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question to that. Like, tell me exactly who do I reach out for? And
Vaishnavi, yeah.
Vaishnavi,
okay. Yeah. She's.
You can write to the email deepbreath@embodiedintimacy.com, and also to embodiedintimacy@gmail.com, and that will reach all the people it needs to reach.
Yeah. Okay. And just one more thing to clarify, like there's this one part of the potential I see, and maybe things can be tweaked, and there's the other part of, is there anything that you two think actually you want, there are other people who can do the same and you have less to do on a daily basis, like, because that's the thing, I don't see what you're doing, so I couldn't give feedback anyways on it. So just yeah, wanted to rephrase that so this is also clear that this is a point I'm trying to make.
Thank you. I so much love your offer to support us and to find out what you can take off our plate. It's really beautiful. And it's one of the reasons we designed the buddies and the small groups, was to get the community supporting itself so that everyone isn't dependent on us for everything, that we step in and offer these pieces that are really alive and brilliant and we're kind of guiding. But when it comes to, you know, homework support and encouraging one another and supporting one another, that's happening from within the community.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for now, and otherwise I'll have to kind of sit with it and take it in, and then I can share it with you later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, deep breath. And we're moving to the last round of celebrations, of harvests, of appreciations. So whatever you have that you would like to move into celebration, we're welcoming that now. You can either type it in the chat or you can write in the chat that you would like to share. Jocelyn. Where is she? There she is.
Yeah?
Yes, go for
Can you
it.
hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay. So I would like to celebrate or share something that is really beautiful for me and for my partner, because we are doing the training together, but I'm in Switzerland and he's in Sweden. So we haven't seen each other for like 4.5 months. And it's obviously a little bit challenging and triggering often, or lots of stuff happens, and through Skype it's just not the same like when we are in real together. And the simple practice of checking in, like now we start every talk, we start with checking in, like going through our bodies, and it's amazing how it helped us to connect, like to really like feel each other and not to have this mental thing going on through Skype and talking about our problems or triggers or whatever. But yeah, there was like such a intimacy happening just through this check-in, like and feeling each other, and yeah, this is really amazing. I'm really grateful. And also all the intimacy practice, I love them. They are so amazing. Yeah, this is one of my highlights also, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you
so I love it. Yeah.
Thank you. Deep breath. Okay, Kim. Where is Kim? There she is. Great. Hey, Kim.
Hey. Yeah, I really just want to celebrate the realness of the ability to lean in. Like I can see the actual shaking in the nervous system sometimes during the videos, and it's given me an ability to lean into my own shakiness. Like right now, you know, I feel my sweaty palms. It's an authentic share. I feel vulnerable. The ability to name that and be okay and lean in and really connect in quite a deep and human way, in a way that I've done quite a bit of different work, but just to be human and for my animal to feel safe. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Great.
Okay. Harmony.
Yeah, so I wanted to share two brief things. One was a beautiful thing from one of the sheets, which was about how we resource and different ways, like holding a hand. How does that resource me? And I live with my two children who are 19 and 12, and just holding my children's hands and just allowing to feel the softness of their hands, and just feeling myself settle, and yeah, just so feeling more. And we've been like getting into bed together a bit more, so all three of us, so like spooning last night in bed and lying and breathing together. So there feels like this co-regulating going on in my family. And I'm slowing down. So yeah, just applying these things of just how do with my children can I do this, so I don't always need to have some other partner and they can find it with me, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be something really huge. It can take like 3 or 4 seconds. And the other really brief thing was going to speak to my neighbor about making so much noise. And because I had the tools and my partner was here at the time, I was able to knock on his door and raise the issue really calmly about this constant sound, and then come back in my house and then re-regulate through checking through the system with my partner and pressing against the wall. So it's really just genius. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Harmony.
Yay.
And our last share from Katie. Hey, Katie. Please share. Hello.
Oh, it's my first time speaking in front of this group, and I notice I'm really nervous. There's this tingling sensation all over my body and a lot of energy in my arms and my hands. And it's good. Yes, I'm sitting here with a lot of appreciation for this program, for what you guys have pulled off and how you're doing it. And I really notice like how it's impacting my life right now, especially in these kind of strange times and with all that space and spaciousness I have. And before I joined the training, I was really struggling with like, how do I make use of that time? And now it really feels like it provides me with such a structure and a beautiful thing to do. And I'm learning, and it put me into this kind of curious space of an explorer. Somehow that's what I feel. And I feel so alive in it. And like the insights are coming and bubbling and yeah. And to have that held in this container so like warmly, skillfully and beautifully by you, how you created it, and then also the whole community, and seeing kind of like it's amazing to kind of like watch and feel myself grow and do so in connection with all of you. It feels such a blessing and so good. And I want to share two more little things. One is that actually, Rachel, when you announced this sharing time here today, and you said it's half time, I'm like, no, that was my first reaction. It's like I was so sad. I'm like, how would my life look like if I had that kind of, setup structure in my life regularly? So that's one. And then I want to share a very particular appreciation for two moments in the morning practices. Because Booster, there's two recordings that I keep watching most of the mornings and doing them. One is the introduction. I think it's the introduction to the dynamic. And you exude such excitement. And somehow it's like I see it and I get so excited and like starting my day like this before I even get into the dynamic, it's just so good. And then the other one is the last one of the shaking. I think it was the Friday recording. You ended by looking at the people on the screen, and like I feel so much love. Like when I look into your eyes there, it feels like you looking with so much love at all the people and really taking the time. And it reaches me every time, every single time I look at that. And it really is a blessing to have that. So thank you.
Thank you, Katie. What a beautiful
note to end on.
Yeah, I think we're going to end with that one.
Now let's just stop right
no
more. Wow.
So we're going to close here. We're at time. And I still want to welcome your harvest and your feedback and your questions, either in the comments of this video in the Facebook thread, or when we send out the day 15 or whatever, we'll send out a recap email tonight for the halfway point, and we'll send out a link to a feedback form. So if there's more stuff that you would like to write to us about any of the details of the homework or the training or questions or things you'd like more of, you can put them in there, and we'll take them in at some point this weekend and see how we can continue to make this a better training for the last 3 weeks. And one thing I was thinking, especially for someone like you, Katie, is to do a resource too, like a more advanced kind of, to keep going deeper with the group of people who've done this. So if that sounds interesting to you, we can talk about what that would look like and how long it would be for. But we're thinking about doing a resource too for the advanced deep dive group. Awesome. There's some
granular.
Yeah. and I think that's good for now. So thank you so much for this midpoint check-in and for all of the value that you've added. I'm not sure if you guys need to stay for an aftercare space. You can stay for an aftercare space if you'd like. Otherwise, go enjoy your weekend. We're done now. Nothing for 2.5 days. We'll see you Monday morning at 8:30 for the next week. But go take a few days off, or go catch up on your homework, or go check in with your buddy.